Hi, everybody. My name is Sam L. Goodwin, and welcome to my vlog. Um, this is my room. It's, you know, your average room. That's my closet. Uh, and I'm going to be talking today about guns um, and the issue of guns in the United States. Uh, so I guess you could say that I am somewhat of a cognitive dissident, or but basically, um, I think that there needs to be more gun restrictions put in place in the United States. I think that that's pretty logical because of all the shootings and things that have taken place. Um, but I also am someone who grew up in a rural area and grew up all around a lot of guns. I started shooting guns when I was 6 years old. I own several guns, none of which I bought. They were just given to me. I live on a farm, so maybe it's a little more understandable because sometimes you have to use guns to deal with pests or to put down animals that are suffering and things like that. Um, I don't know. It's really a tricky subject because there are so many um, multifaceted uh, problems and different groups and all sorts of other things that go into our gun legislation and everything that's going on in society today with guns. Uh, I know several people with AR-15s and Glocks and all sorts of stuff. I don't think we as a society should have those. I don't really think guns are ethical, but I own them, like, so I don't know. Take that as you will. Uh, yeah, so I think this is a good segue into my vlog. So there's two sides of the gun debate, basically, but there are people in the middle too who are, I guess, kind of like me. I guess I would say I'm more in the middle. That's my moral intuition. Um, but there's the conservatives who are more, therefore, uh, gun rights and, oh, we should be allowed to have AR-15s in case we need to, like, start militias and fight off the government and that kind of stuff. It goes against their rights based on the Second Amendment to not have guns or to have gun restrictions. But then there are also lots of conservatives that are for more gun restrictions too. So it's really a kind of a weird issue because I think it's really hard to solve based on all the money that's being put into it. Like, the NRA has tons of money and is probably one of the biggest gun lobby groups in the entire country. And they pump all that money into the news and the media, and not just the media, but also into campaigns. And then all that stuff comes back around and gets put into the people who are giving that money to the NRA. So it's basically a loop of people donating money, and then they hear back what they think to be true, right? So, and it's kind of the same with the liberals in societies, like the Democrats. So basically, the Democrats are for gun restrictions and um, less guns in the United States. There's actually more guns in the US than there are people, and that's kind of messed up. But it is what it is. And I think the only way to really deal with it would be to have effective legislation, which I think the Democrats are trying to put forth, but they get blocked by the Republicans. So it's a sticky situation. Democrats are for restrictions and like background checks, making it harder for people to get guns, maybe even raising the age of being able to buy firearms to like 21 or something like that. Maybe banning AR-15s altogether, stuff like that. Stuff that will restrict that kind of stuff. And I don't think that's necessarily bad. That's my moral intuition, is that is something that maybe is necessary, because I don't see why you would need an AR-15 for home defense or something like that. I think you probably do fine with just like a shotgun or maybe a handgun. But then again, handguns are also used a lot in mass shootings. So I don't know what the right answer is. And I'm not going to try to tell you what it is. I think it's something that every person kind of has to figure out for themselves what they think the right answer is. And then you vote on that. And you vote basically for the people who will do what you want them to do in Congress or with whatever. Yeah. So I think that's a good, I think it's a good thing that hopefully this gets more people to come out and vote, even though this is a really awful and tragic situation that we've had to deal with for basically as long as we've been alive. These shootings have been happening. And I think that even though they're awful and stuff, hopefully it gets more people to wake up and realize that something really needs to change with our gun legislation and with our country. Yeah. So I think a lot of these of people's stances on where they are on the gun debate is based on moral foundations theory. I think that people who are more on the right of the debate are more with liberty versus oppression. They don't want to be dominated. They want to feel like they have some power, and that's where guns come in. They like the feeling of power that having a gun gives them, because it does. It does give you that feeling of power, and it's really it's messed up because it's a tool for killing, right? But at the same time, if you've never used it, you can't really understand it without shooting one and feeling what it's like to do that, because there is a power high there. You know what I mean? Whereas I think the left of the debate is more on care and harm. Like they don't, this foundation is more like, they don't like the pain of others, right? And they see guns as something that's really hurting other people. And there is a lot of gun violence in the United States, and that's partially because we have so many guns and access to guns and things like that. And I think it really speaks to how each side thinks about guns with moral foundations theory. I think liberals are more prone to thinking care, harm, and I think conservatives are more with liberty and oppression when it comes to thinking about gun rights and theories. I hope you enjoyed my vlog. Thanks for putting up with me and listening. Best to you guys. Bye.